Have you ever wondered what goes into preparing a wedding meal that has been passed down through generations? Imagine a scene. No modern appliances, no fast food. Instead, a close-knit community, bound by tradition, gathering around a single table to create a feast that tells a story, honors the past, and celebrates love in its purest form. This isn't just food. It's a symbol of unity, faith, and the timeless beauty of simplicity. But how exactly do the Amish prepare these wedding meals? What secret ingredients, rituals, and age-old methods do they rely on? Stick around as we uncover every detail of this sacred and heartfelt process. Trust me, you'll never look at food the same way again. In a world dominated by convenience, the Amish remain steadfast in their commitment to preserving a way of life that values hard work, simplicity, and deep-rooted traditions. So, what does it take to create a meal worthy of one of their most sacred events? Let's step into the kitchen and begin. For the Amish, a wedding isn't just a ceremony. It's a communal celebration of love and unity. And the meal? It's not just food. It's a reflection of the Amish principles of togetherness and gratitude. This isn't a quick dinner. It's a feast that reflects the patience, care, and deep love between two families. But here's the thing. There is an unspoken pressure to ensure that everything is perfect. The entire community gathers, each person contributing something, ensuring that the meal will be a true representation of everything the couple values. But what makes these meals stand out? Why do they hold so much weight within the community? That's coming up, but first, let's take a look at the process. A wedding meal isn't something that happens overnight. It takes months of planning and preparation. Every dish, every ingredient, every step is carefully considered. But here's something that might surprise you. This isn't just a task for the bride and groom. The entire Amish community plays an active role in planning and preparing the feast. When the couple announces their wedding date, the surrounding families and friends immediately step into action. They organize who will bring what dish and who will help with which part of the meal. It's a true community effort. Everyone from the youngest children to the oldest members of the community pitch in to ensure the meal is perfect. The concept of community runs deep in Amish culture. Everyone has a part to play. The women handle the bulk of the cooking, often working in groups while the men prepare the meats and carve them, ensuring everything is ready on time. Even the children have their jobs. Sometimes it's peeling potatoes or helping to set the long tables. This collective effort isn't just about making sure the meal gets done. It's about embodying the Amish values of unity, mutual support, and the shared joy of celebrating together. Now, imagine the sense of pride and joy that comes with knowing you've contributed to something so beautiful, so meaningful. It's a reminder that in Amish culture, no one is ever alone when it comes to celebrating milestones. The community steps in, each member contributing in their own unique way, making the wedding not just a celebration of love, but also of togetherness. For the Amish, the concept of farm to table is more than just a trendy buzzword. It's a way of life. The majority of the ingredients used in these wedding meals come from their very own farms, fields, and gardens. There are no store-bought shortcuts here. Every carrot, every potato, every ear of corn is grown with care and harvested at the peak of ripeness. This connection to the land is not just practical, it's deeply spiritual. This is where the real magic of an Amish wedding meal begins, the fresh, homegrown produce. In an era where most of us rely on supermarkets for our vegetables, the Amish take pride in growing everything themselves. Their gardens are a source of pride and identity, reflecting the family's hard work, devotion, and respect for the earth. The soil, rich and fertile, nourishes more than just the crops, it nourishes the soul. But here's the thing, growing all this produce isn't easy. It's a year-round commitment. From planting seeds in the spring to harvesting in the late summer and fall, every moment of care in the garden is a labor of love. And this labor doesn't stop when the wedding feast is just a few days away. The families come together to pick, wash, and prepare all the fresh ingredients for the meal, ensuring they're at their freshest and most flavorful. This hands-on approach is what sets Amish meals apart. The vegetables are picked fresh, the meats carefully raised, and the dairy products are made by hand. When it's time to cook, everything is at its peak. This isn't food from a can or a box. It's food that's been nurtured by the land, crafted with patience, and prepared with care. But how does this deep connection to the land affect the flavor of the meal? What happens when the land itself becomes a part of the story, told through food? Stick around, because in just a moment, you'll see how this incredible commitment to homegrown ingredients transforms the meal into something unforgettable. As the wedding day draws closer, the energy in the kitchen intensifies. But here's the secret that makes Amish wedding meals truly special. It's not just the bride and groom working hard in the kitchen, it's the entire community. The Amish have a concept that many of us may have forgotten: collaboration. They call it the kitchen brigade. It's a team effort that involves family, friends, and even neighbors coming together to ensure that every dish is prepared with love and precision. The kitchen becomes a hub of activity. You'll see young girls carefully stirring pots, men grinding flour, older women teaching the next generation how to perfect the art of pie making. It's organized chaos, but it's the kind of chaos that results in something beautiful. Something that can only come from hands that know the importance of family, tradition, and shared labor. The kitchen brigade isn't just about getting the meal ready. It's about making sure that every part of the process is done with intention, with a shared sense of purpose. Each person knows their role, and they step into it with pride, knowing that their efforts are part of something much bigger than themselves. When the food is finally served, it's not just a reflection of the couple's love. It's a testament to the love and hard work of the entire community. The kitchen brigade reminds us that when we work together, the results are richer, deeper, and more meaningful. This isn't just cooking, it's bonding, it's learning, and it's about making memories that will last for generations. But there's one more thing that happens in the kitchen brigade that truly makes this experience unforgettable, and it's something that few outsiders ever get to witness. Stay with us to see how the Amish bring this kitchen magic to life in the most unexpected way. When you think of an Amish wedding feast, the first thing that likely comes to mind is hearty, comforting food. Simple, yet satisfying. But each dish served holds a deeper significance. These aren't just meals, they are expressions of hospitality, tradition, and community. Let's start with the classics: roast chicken, mashed potatoes, corn pudding, homemade bread, and of course pies. But these dishes aren't just chosen for their flavor. They represent the values of Amish life: hard work, simplicity, and nurturing the soul. The roast chicken, always prepared with care, is a symbol of abundance and generosity. The tender, perfectly roasted meat is served with mashed potatoes so creamy they melt in your mouth. A simple dish, but one that requires skill and patience. Corn pudding, rich and comforting, is a dish that showcases the bounty of the land. Corn, a staple in the Amish diet, represents both the fertility of the earth and the hard work of those who tend it. But here's where the story takes a turn. The pies. Oh, the pies. Apple, cherry, and often shoe fly pie, a traditional Amish favorite. These desserts are more than just a sweet finish to the meal. They're a labor of love, a family recipe passed down through generations. Each bite is a taste of history, a reflection of the care and tradition that go into everything the Amish do. Each classic dish is a reminder that the Amish don't just cook, they cook with purpose. The simplicity of the food reflects their values, but the richness of the flavors is a testament to years of refining recipes, perfecting techniques, and honoring tradition. And yet, there's one key dish that stands above all others: the chicken and noodles, the crowning jewel of any Amish wedding feast. But why is this dish so sacred? What makes it the centerpiece of this culinary celebration? Stick with us as we reveal why this humble dish is, in fact, the heart and soul of every Amish wedding meal. One of the most fascinating aspects of Amish wedding meals is the sheer volume of food that must be prepared. Think about this. Hundreds of guests, all expecting a hearty meal and a sweet treat to cap off the evening. That's a lot of baking, and the Amish do it with a calm, steady rhythm that speaks to their deep understanding of the task at hand. Bread, pies, and desserts are the backbone of an Amish wedding feast. The scent of freshly baked bread fills the house as loaves rise and brown in the oven. Homemade bread isn't just a side, it's a symbol of hospitality. The Amish bake in bulk, often preparing dozens of loaves to ensure no guest leaves hungry. But it's not just any bread. This bread, made from scratch with homegrown flour, represents the earth's bounty and the hands that work tirelessly to turn the wheat into a loaf. It's simple, wholesome, and every bit as nourishing for the spirit as it is for the body. And then there are the pies. The Amish are known for their exceptional pies, and at a wedding there's no shortage. From apple and cherry to the beloved choufle pie, there's something for everyone. But preparing dozens of pies for a crowd requires careful planning. The crusts must be perfect, flaky and golden, while the fillings must be sweet yet balanced. The process is an art form. Amish women take pride in their pie-making skills, some of them passing down recipes that have been in the family for generations. There's an unspoken competition between the bakers. Who will make the most perfect pie? But in the end, it's not about who bakes the best. It's about the shared experience, the joy of feeding a community, and creating something sweet that marks the occasion. And then, of course, there are the other desserts, cobblers, cakes, and sometimes even tarts, all made in abundance to ensure every guest has their fill. But remember, this isn't about grandeur or flair. It's about creating something that speaks to the heart. The Amish know that their guests are coming to celebrate love, family, and tradition, and every bite of these homemade treats is a reminder of that. But there's one more surprise about Amish wedding desserts that you'll want to hear. The story behind these recipes is even sweeter than the pies themselves, so don't go anywhere. We'll reveal the heartwarming secret in just a moment. If there's one dish that defines an Amish wedding meal, it's chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Simple, hearty, timeless. This humble meal is more than just food, it's the centerpiece of the entire celebration. But why is this dish so significant? Why is it the heart of an Amish wedding feast? The roast chicken is prepared with meticulous care. Raised by hand on Amish farms, these chickens are slow-cooked to perfection, seasoned simply, and roasted until golden brown. There's a quiet art to roasting chicken this way. A slow process that requires patience and attention to detail. The rich, tender meat tells the story of careful stewardship over the land and animals. It's about nurturing life, just as the couple is about to nurture their future together. Alongside the chicken sits a mountain of mashed potatoes, creamy, buttery, and just the right amount of fluffy. These aren't your average mashed potatoes. These are lovingly prepared by hand, using homegrown potatoes that have been harvested from the Amish gardens. The potatoes are mashed with generous amounts of fresh butter and cream, creating a rich, comforting side that perfectly complements the chicken. And of course, no plate of mashed potatoes is complete without a generous ladle of gravy. The gravy is made from the drippings of the roasted chicken, thickened to perfection and simmered with herbs and spices. It's the finishing touch that ties the meal together. A warm, savory sauce that brings the entire dish to life. This meal isn't just about flavor, it's about community. It's about coming together to share in the bounty of the earth, to celebrate the union of two people, and to honor the shared history and labor that went into creating this very moment. The chicken, the mashed potatoes, and the gravy, they represent nourishment, not just for the body, but for the soul. It's a meal that reflects the Amish values of hard work, simplicity, and togetherness. But here's the beauty of it all. The meal is served family style. There's no rushing, no individual plates. Instead, the guests pass large platters around the table, helping themselves and each other. The act of serving one another, of sharing the meal, reflects the Amish commitment to community and hospitality. If you think about an Amish wedding meal, you can't overlook one dish that truly captures the essence of Amish hospitality: homemade noodles. This seemingly simple dish is, in fact, a staple at every Amish wedding table, and it holds a deep connection to the community's way of life. Making these noodles is an art. It begins with homemade dough, kneaded to perfection, then rolled out and cut by hand. Each noodle is uniform, yet carries the imperfection of being made by loving hands. These noodles aren't just food, they're a reflection of patience and craftsmanship. Unlike store-bought varieties, Amish noodles are thick, hearty, and full of texture. They're often served alongside that classic roast chicken and mashed potatoes, but their versatility is what makes them so beloved. Sometimes they're served as a main dish, simmered with broth and served warm. Other times they're paired with the meal as a side. Every bite a reminder of home, of generations of families perfecting this recipe. But here's the part that might surprise you. These noodles aren't just cooked to fill plates. They're made to nourish hearts. The process is typically a group effort, with several women in the community coming together to roll out, cut, and cook large batches. It's a communal experience, where laughter is shared, stories are told, and lessons are passed down from one generation to the next. For the Amish, making homemade noodles isn't just about preparing a dish. It's about creating something that speaks to the value of tradition, family, and commitment. These noodles are made with time and care, and they represent the Amish principle of doing everything with intention, no matter how big or small the task. And here's where the story takes an unexpected twist. While these noodles may seem like a simple, humble side dish, they carry a deeper symbolism. But what exactly does this meal represent in the context of Amish life? And why are noodles so central to the wedding feast? Stick with us, because the surprising significance behind the humble noodle might just change the way you see Amish weddings forever. When it's time to serve the meal at an Amish wedding, there's an undeniable sense of order, coordination, and efficiency. But here's something that's often overlooked. The young people in the community play a pivotal role in making sure everything runs smoothly. From setting the tables to serving the food, the next generation is there, ready to take on the responsibility with pride and purpose. The young men and women aren't just there to enjoy the feast, they're there to serve it. They're tasked with ensuring that the long lines of guests are served quickly and efficiently. They help bring out the dishes, making sure the chicken, mashed potatoes, noodles, and pies are all distributed in perfect harmony. There's an art to this. These young people know that this moment is about honoring the guests, making sure that no one waits too long for food and that every person feels welcomed and valued. They work in pairs or small groups, serving the meal with grace, speed, and precision, everything running like a well-oiled machine. What's remarkable is the efficiency of the process. Every young person has a specific role, and they execute it with confidence. There's no hesitation, no confusion. This isn't just about serving food. It's about creating an experience that mirrors the Amish values of order, discipline, and community. Everyone plays their part, ensuring the feast goes off without a hitch. The key here is teamwork. In Amish culture, young people are taught from a young age the importance of working together for the common good. By the time a wedding comes around, they've learned how to handle the responsibility of service with maturity and efficiency. It's not just a task, it's a way to contribute to the community's most sacred celebrations. But here's something even more interesting. The act of serving this meal isn't just about efficiency, it's also about respect. Respect for the elders, for the couple, and for the traditions that bind the community together. So what does this role of service mean for the young people themselves? Don't go away, because the emotional reward these young servers receive from being part of this tradition is more profound than you might think. We'll reveal it in just a moment. Every dish at an Amish wedding carries with it more than just a recipe. It's a symbol. It's a story. The foods served are an intentional reflection of Amish values, a way of preserving the past while celebrating the present. When you sit down to a meal like this, you're not just eating for sustenance, You're participating in a tradition that has been passed down through generations. Take the chicken, for example. The act of roasting a chicken isn't just about feeding a large crowd, it's about honoring the work that went into raising the chicken. It symbolizes hard work, humility, and patience, qualities the Amish hold dear. Each ingredient is chosen not just for its flavor, but for its connection to the land and the people who cultivated it. The mashed potatoes are another example, a simple dish, yet so deeply tied to the community's farming roots. These potatoes are more than just a side. They represent fertility, nourishment, and the fruits of labor. It's the same with the homemade noodles. Their importance extends beyond their taste. They're an expression of the Amish way of life, where food is prepared slowly, thoughtfully, and with care. And then, there's the pies, the apple, the cherry, the choufle pie. These pies are a celebration in themselves. When you make pies in Amish tradition, you're not simply baking. You're passing down a legacy, a recipe crafted by hands that have been baking for generations. They're a reminder that no matter how much time passes, some traditions remain steadfast. At an Amish wedding, every dish tells a story of the land, the people, and the values that bind them. It's a celebration of family, heritage, and the shared memories that make these foods so special. These aren't just dishes served at a wedding. They are markers of continuity, of keeping tradition alive in a world that often moves too fast. So why is this important? Why do the Amish take such care in their food choices? It's because for them, food is more than fuel. It's sacred. It's part of a story that's been unfolding for centuries, and each meal is a way to honor the past, celebrate the present, and pass the legacy on to the next generation. But here's the truth. Preserving these traditions isn't easy. In a world that's changing at breakneck speed, how do they manage to keep these meals and rituals so rooted in the past? Stay with us, because the answer to this question will reveal something profound about the Amish way of life, and how they continue to keep their traditions alive in a rapidly changing world. As we've seen today, Amish wedding meals are more than just food. They're a reflection of deep-rooted traditions, community bonds, and values that have been passed down for generations. Each dish served tells a story of hard work, love, and nurturing, elements that remind us of the beauty and simplicity and the power of community. At Frugal Focus, we believe in celebrating the values of tradition, mindfulness, and living with purpose, just as the Amish do. If you found this glimpse into Amish culture inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more stories like this.